Hello and welcome back to the channel. I just thought I'd do a video on this throttle pedal. Like I've mentioned, it's going to take about a month for the cable to come, but we already know that the throttle pedal is an issue as well. As you can see here, how much it moves. It's not good at all. I've just had a quick look with the torch. Really doesn't look too bad. Just a couple of 10mm bolts, a clip to put the cable out. So I might just give it a go before doing the cable since it's sat here. I'll just show what I was going to do with it. That's the new one. So there's only £18 for Mercedes, but one thing I wasn't, to be quite honest, the whole thing doesn't look good quality at all really. I mean, when you look at that, it hasn't even been shaved down on the back. But this pin here, which is obviously worn on the other one, I've popped it out. And I'm just going to use some of the best possible grease that I've got, which is this, it's like a ceramic grease. It's meant for brakes and everything, but you know, on a plastic hinge, it's probably the best I can use, just to prevent it from wearing. I know people are saying they're not great, but the car's coming up, 17-year-old, 18-year-old. It's done 100,000 miles, so I'm pretty sure this will be fine. So all I've had to do is with a pair of thin nose pliers. There's a little point in here, just push them together and push the pin through. I'm going to grease it up, pop it back through, and then we'll start with taking off the old pedal and see how it goes. So as you can see, I've just coated it in grease as best as I can. God knows if it'll make any difference, but if it helps, it helps. It can't really do any harm, so... Sorry, the phone just rang there. So yeah, I've filled it with grease as best as I can. God knows if it'll do any good, but it's worth a try. And it's just a case of sliding it back through. I don't know, is that in line? Yeah, we'll give it a go. It's probably going to pop a load of grease out when we slide it through as it's doing. In fact, I'm going to reuse that bit. Put it around here a bit. Looks like it's making a mess, but it can't be seen. So, you know, push it in. Just get them bigger bits off. It probably will take a bit of force to get through to the other bit when I line it up. Just my hands are full of grease now, so I can't really do a great deal. Let's have a look here. Right. There we go. Pushed it through. You probably can't see because of the grease, but this little area here, which I'm quite happy the fact that is packed with grease, has popped into place. And obviously I'll clean the grease up around there with a cloth in a moment. As so, and that now is just provided. I've just realised there, I bet you I've just done everything I've done there out of sight of the camera, so my apologies. But as you can see, the pin's pushed through, there's plenty of grease in there, and on that side, I'll give that a clean up. Right, so a bit of dismantling work here. I've had to take the under tray off to get to it. 2 10mm. And the light's not quite shining there. There's a pin just at the top. You just pull the pin out to release the cable, the 2 10mm out, and we'll get the pedal out. I can't really film when I'm doing this because I keep knocking the phone over, so I'll get back to you as soon as I've got the old pedal off. Right, so it was literally as easy as that. We'll see if there's any issues when I come to refitting. So you just take the pin out of the pedal, which is here. The pin, so that pin holds the cable in, so you just pull that pin 2 10mm off and remove the pedal. So we'll go and take this old pedal across next to the new pedal and see what the difference is. If I can get the phone to stand up, because my hands are covered in grease. See if I can get this to any better angle. 2 moments. So I've got no idea how good this will show on camera, but here's the old one, holding the backing plate. That's easy, clear enough to see that. And the new one, let's check I've got it in line. Well, nothing really, I'm just moving the bracket, very little. So yeah, we'll go across and fit the new one in place and see if everything adjusts up okay. Something just to make a note of, what I've just realised, if you look on those 2 holes, it says left hand drive, right hand drive. So you've got an upper and a lower hole. Obviously on the old one you can see the ones that would have been used. So naturally if you're on the right hand drive market, you use the bottom holes, left hand drive you use the top holes. Just thought I would include that bit. And once I've got it fitted, I'll show you a demonstration. And then what we're going to try and do is, the reason I was going to do it all together, but I had some suspicions about the cable. I don't think the cable is too bad, even though it does show signs of wear. But we're going to try stretching the spring. There's another spring like this on the throttle position sensor under the bonnet. A lot of people actually say remove them and you totally eliminate the fault of the... I should have actually explained at the beginning of this video what the issue is with this car, which all of you on the ML Owner Club will know about, is with the throttle, it's slow speeds and like traffic, you put a little bit of pressure on the pedal and nothing happens. Then all of a sudden it's got like a notch, it gives, and then obviously the car decides to take off. And a lot of people have said this has been an issue from new. They've had new pedals, cables, and a lot of people have said, I'll show you it under the bonnet when I've got this fitted, this spring. I'm not going to remove it, but what I'm going to do is remove it and stretch it and see if that improves it. Then we might just get away with fitting the pedal and stretching the spring, and I'll just keep the cable in case I need it. It only costs like £20-25, so saves taking everything apart again. So I'll get back to you when I've got the pedal fitted. Right, so that's the new one fitted. So on the old one, before chucking in the bin, I'm going to take that spring off. I'm going to keep this locking pin for the cable as a spare. And it's probably one, but I might take that one out. But that's probably more than likely just scrap, to be honest. So now, back to the pedal. So that's fitted in place nicely. Just your two 10mm in, nip them up. Like I've said, pack them with grease. And with the cable, what you've got to do is lift the pedal up to the highest point with your finger, and you'll find that little pin, it'll just push in nicely. You don't need to force it. And now let's have a look to see. There's a little bit of play. There's nowhere near as much play there as the other one. And again, that's just that slight little notch feel. But I am going to go and try and adjust that spring, because I do believe that's a lot of the cause of the issues with these. But that is much improved for very little work. So I'll come back to you when I'm under the bonnet. Right, this is what you need to do under the bonnet. Obviously, the cable comes from the throttle pedal if it's a right-hand drive car. Across the top of the engine, this is it here. It comes along here. Across, as you can see with mine, I've said there's a little bit of damage there, but it's just to the plastic. You know, so I think the whole battery's got to come out to get the throttle cable out, so I'm trying to avoid that. Anyways, this is the cable, this is the spring that people remove. But I'm not going to remove it. I'm going to, altogether, I'm going to remove it, stretch it, and then put it back on. And it stops so much resistance on the cable. So what you need to do is, that's your adjustment there. I've already adjusted this up perfectly. See that little gap there? It should be touching. But if it's obviously a car like this with 100,000 mile on, you can have a slight bit of tolerance. If you wind it up too much, you'll find your idle will be too high. But this is what you need to do. I've got somebody in the car. If you just put your foot to the floor, just get somebody to do that, and as long as their foot is to the floor and you cannot move that anymore, which I can't, means you're getting full throttle, and then let go, like that. So that's adjusted up perfectly now. I'm going to remove this spring, stretch it, and see what kind of improvement this makes on the pedal. As well as when I've actually got the spring off, it's not going to do no harm to just try the throttle around, especially around the yard on private land. So I'll get back to you. Thank you. Right, so here's the result. With that spring off, it is completely transformed. It is like a different throttle. So that's telling me actually the cable, even though it looks rough, is probably okay. But I can press that now with my finger, and there's no resistance. None of that clicking feeling that you get where it, like, you press, notch, and then it drops, and then you go lurching forward. I'm going to stretch the spring, and if I still don't find it's very good, I think I will revert to removing it. Again, I've just done something here. If you notice, I've put a little white mark on there, and I've put a white mark on the spring, just so I put it back in the right order. Because when you're in this kind of trade all the time, you learn you save so much time just getting a white marker pen out and marking something than messing about for ages trying to work out which way something goes. So all I'm going to do, I'll get set up and come back. Right, so we'll put the spring in the vise, pair of pliers. I haven't really done this, even tried before, but I'm just going to have a little go of stretching it naturally so it looks a bit different to that when it's uncoiled. So there we go. You only stretch them a tiny bit. You don't go mad, by the way. So that's enough. We'll get that fitted and we'll see what it's like. Right, so here we go. That's the end of the video. That's stretched now, so that's perfect. It's not loose to the point it'll drop off. Fits in place nicely. I'm so pleased I've actually done this today because it's going to save me the hassle of changing that cable. That is absolutely perfect there now. So job well done. So there you go. If you've got problems, which I think drew blood, if you've got problems, which I think all ML owners have, regardless if it's a diesel, V6, V8, whatever, for the sake of £18, get a new throttle cable for Mercedes and stretch. I wouldn't suggest remove, because I've just had a thought. What this designed to do is if the throttle gets stuck fully open, it'll close it. So you do really want to keep it on and stretch this spring to about that much. The only thing I'm going to check, the only way I can check is to re-watch this video through, is that hooks that way, not the other way, but clearly if it does, I'll swap it about. So there you go. There's a video on how to get rid of the awful throttle pedal on the Mercedes ML W163. I'm not sure on the diesel if it's slightly different, but definitely all the petrols. So the 320, the 350, what is it, the V8 430, the 500 and the 55, I would imagine. So there we go. Thanks for watching. I'll get back to you on the next video. If you like this, like, comment and subscribe. All the little like and subscribe and comments help the channel grow, and I'll keep these videos coming. Thanks.